Good morning. Thank you all for coming. Before we start, I have a few words to say. This is a short ceremony. We're going to be standing the whole time. When we do bows at the end, we'll do standing prostrations just to make it easier. This is the starting of the Ongo, which is traditionally intense practice period, and I'll say more about it after the service. This is where we're going to invite Shinkyu to officially be, as a song, to officially be the head monk. And I'll talk more about what the head monk is. Just a little bit about the ceremony. We're going to you're welcome just to be watching most of the time. There's going to do what we call a jundo, and that's first the Ino will come around. And when he comes around, just gasho when he gets to you. And after he passes, just put your hands down. So it's just kind of an acknowledgement of the Ino, thanking everyone. And after the ceremony, or kind of towards the end, the Ino and the new Shuso will walk around, and the same thing, just gasho, going to pass, put your hands down. It's just an acknowledgement, kind of a good morning, hello, how are you? And that's it, and we will talk more after the ceremony.
On this day, July 19th, 2026, we announce the installation of the Shuso for and opening of the Nebraska Zen Center Heartland Temple Somarango. The presiding officers of this temple have invited Rev Shinkyu, Brian Cote to serve as Shuso for overseeing this ongo. Temple administrators, please come forward.
Although I've been recommended for this position, this responsibility is too great for me.
You are our choice for Shuso. Please accept this responsibility. We give you our heartfelt support.
Okay, thank you. Okay, one for power and 3 frustrations.
I have received Buddha's precepts, and I've entered this temple. I'm deeply honored to have this responsibility to serve as head monk. These are beautiful days. May your good health continue. Please allow me to help you to continue the practice in this temple.
Yes, please help me. And also, please take responsibility. Please help with my responsibility and take a seat next to me.
I now respectfully announce that Reverend Shinkyu Brian Kote has been installed as head monk for this summer practice period of the Nebraska Zen Center Heartland Temple. Right off your Dharma talk.
Yeah, a little talk.
Okay. Do you believe bring your cushions around is optional for Dharma talk?
What about that 6-foot distance?
I'll try to keep my big foot out of the way. No, your foot's not in it. You're good.
So page 43.
The unsurpassed, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rarely met with, even in 100,000 million kalpas. Now we can see and hear it, accept and maintain it. May we unfold the meaning of the Tathagata's truth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not really giving a Dharma talk. I'm sorry for my foot being up, but I have a little blood clot in my calf that I'm trying to keep in my calf. And keep it out of my lungs, so that's why it's up there. Stay. We just had something called the Ongo opening, the installing Shinkyu as the head monk. Shinkyu has been studying the Dharma and Buddhism and meditation a lot longer than I have known him. And what we did today is one of the final steps of Shinkyu going from a novice monk to a full-fledged Zen Buddhist priest. Technically, he's not a full priest at this moment. He's a priest, but not a full recognized priest. He's not allowed to go out and teach on his own. He's not allowed to have students of his own. He can only work under another teacher. So this is his first step, I like to say, in becoming a Zen master himself. This is one of the first one in a long time at Nebraska Zen Center. And I'm not sure if Nebraska Zen Center has ever hosted a head priest. Nonan used to send his priests off to either Tassajara, Shasta Abbey, Hokioji, someplace like that, to do their head priest training. Because technically, you're supposed to work in a monastery, and it's to learn the workings of a monastery. Well, Shinkyu is probably not going to live in a monastery the rest of his life, so he needs to learn the workings of a sangha, a city sangha. And in the next 3 months, he's supposed to step out on his own and try to figure things out on himself. He'll still be working under me, who's his primary teacher, and the other teachers at Nebraska Zen Center. And he's going to work through this Ongo. An Ongo technically is something that's been from the Buddhist time, and it was started during the rainy seasons when the monks couldn't be out, they had to gather. So they all gathered together and intensify their practice. That's when they did their studies. That's when Buddha gave his lectures. That's when they really did their intense, what are we as a monastery, what are we as a group? And then when it was nicer, they'd go out and spread the Dharma throughout the lands. And now it's also when lay people also really intensify their practice. And Shinkyu is opening a summer Ongo practice period, and he made the schedule. So if there's too much, you blame him. But it's just a time for you to really come inward and see, what am I doing here? And just up your practice, even if it's a smidgen. Even if it's just like, oh, this is my practice and this is what I'm doing. You don't have to follow it precisely. Very soon, Shinkyu will announce his koan. And that koans are like Zen stories. And that's going to be kind of like the theme of his practice. And you can all study it too. Because in a few months, when we close the Ongo, or later, it depends on how the schedules line up, we will have the final Shuso ceremony. And I don't remember the Japanese names. My brain is like a house with too many windows open. It just blows in and there's nothing but dust left. But the English translation is Dharma combat. We're a civilized Sangha, so we don't try to say, I'm going to ask the hardest questions that'll make Shinkyu look like a fool. But it's a time where you bring honest questions, either about the koan he's going to announce soon, or about just things of practice. And you'll come back, I think right now it's scheduled tentatively for sometime around Thanksgiving, a week before Thanksgiving weekend, I think. But at that time, you'll come, and it's a very beautiful, elaborate ceremony. If you're paying attention, you'll cry. I cry. Every Shuso ceremony I've been to, I've cried, even if I'm not intimately involved. Beautiful ceremony, declaration of intention. And I like to, because I'm way too tied in with academia, this is like he's presenting his thesis to his committee. You're his committee, and you say, okay, we accept your thesis. Dissertation defense, where you look at him and say, are you ready to be a teacher? And there'll be other monks here, and I've never heard of anyone failing their Shuso ceremony, but it is the last thing that he is saying, yes, I am ready to be a teacher in my own right. So this is the beginning of that process. Big step for Shinkyu, and a wonderful step for you to be part of it. And I think Shinkyu had something to say.
Oh yeah. Let me get my glasses on so I can see. I was just going to talk about what the schedule would look like. So I'll have, the temple will be open Tuesday through Saturday from, I believe it was 11:30 to 12:15 or so, for 30 minutes of meditation plus a short chanting service. So anyone who is in the area and would like to come into the temple for that, they can. I'll have I don't know what link I'll be using, but probably just the regular one. I'll have this open as well, so if you want to, you can zoom in. And then Friday night and I believe Sunday night, it's on the table out there if I'm wrong. Friday night, Sunday night, 6:30? Oh no, I should have looked at it. I think it's 7 to 7:45 p.m. And on Saturday, after the noon one, if anyone wants to if they're there and they want to bring food in and have lunch together, that's when I do my lunchtime. So it's sort of a way to intensify our practice and also to intensify the links of our community. And even on top of that, kind of going off what Shuji said, since it is an Ongo, you can, you don't live here, but you do kind of live here in the same way. There are things you could do, or questions you could ask yourself, or practices you could practice. Simple things, if you meditate one time a day, maybe think about doing it 2 times a day, morning and night. Or if you meditate 1 time a week, maybe you do it 2 times a week. if you like to blast music in your car when you're driving to work, maybe just drive in silence a couple times a week. If you were like me when I worked in the factory, you have your podcast going on like all day, and then at some point you're like, okay, maybe we'll have one day where I don't listen to anything at all. I just am focused on my task at hand. Maybe you do that for an hour, and then the rest of the 7 hours you can just any way that you can bring the practice a little bit more into your life. You know, I won't be checking up a little bit. I'll be asking, but you don't get a report card or anything other than just a report card of the accountability of the rest of the Sangha. No pressure. So just things like that. And I'll also be talking. I'll have 3 talks as well over the next 3 months, talking about aspects of intensive practice. So you'll be able to hear some of that. So you got all sorts of neat things happening. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, there are 2 things I forgot to say. A, just to keep Shinkyu from getting a swollen head, thinking I'm the boss, tradition is he cleans the bathrooms. So if you think he's getting too uppity, just throw some extra paper towels around.
Paper towel.
And another thing I wanted to say, we use 3 folding mat positions today. I don't know if you noticed. Normally, do you want to get up and demonstrate?
Yeah.
Normally we do the Z fold when you priest bow, and that is the everyday how you bow. And the mat is when I gave Shinkyu his zagu, I gave it to him, and his promise was to keep his robe off the ground. So usually we just do a half fold mat like that. That way when he bows, it kind of keeps mat off the ground. And if you notice, there was one point he did the full where the mat was outstretched. That is only done on special occasions. Ordination, when somebody will give you a precept ceremony, the priest will do their mat out straight. It's only done ordination, ongo, Shuso ceremony, and transmission. Those are the only ones that I know of, but some traditions will have it more often, but it's really special. So when it's full mat, it's like when he bows, it's a real important bow. So we don't do that. And the other, you might have noticed that he started to unfold his mat, and I said, no, no, no. He bowed on the folded mat. That's a very informal, okay, we're sitting on this seat together now. It's not quite peers. At your transmission ceremony, we will do peer to peer, and that's like, okay, we're equals now. I'll always be his teacher. But this is as close as we can get right now. That he bowed and put his head on that. And other kind of informal things. You'll see the priest will just put Dharma. When I get the Dharma, I'll set it up there. It's not, a full bow would be, you have to listen to me because everything I say is real, and we don't do that. We just put it out here, and that means I'm talking to you as we're just talking, and this is important, but it's not. So anyway, there's a 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock thing in monasteries. We all get together and we kind of talk about schedules and stuff. All the priests will put our things here because we're not that it's not important, but it's not as important as some things, and that makes it sound wrong. But I hope you get it. It's when we did that, it's like we're peers today. Okay. Any other questions about the ceremony? Okay, then we're done talking and close, and then.
Thanks, Shuji. Is there announcements?